Well, my name is Gabriel Carballal. I am a farmer here in Uruguay, in South America. I'm actually farming 3,800 acres, right? That's about 1,500 hectares. And we are right now 1 month from soybean harvest start. And we also plant corn. We plant, those are the two summer crops, main summer crops here in Uruguay. And in winter, we plant wheat, barley, and canola, and some oats and some other small grains like pasture grains and stuff. That's our main operation here. I also have some livestock, but I would say I'm 80% in agriculture.
What are the biggest concerns that you have for agriculture today? Your biggest concerns?
Yes, my biggest concern is how to manage risk, right? We are in a very risky situation since the last decade. All prices went up, especially input prices. And I am a farmer with no farm, so I actually have to lease all the farms I'm farming in. So that increases risk a lot, and I am always trying to manage risk. There are two kinds of risk, right? One is the agricultural risk, and the other one is the economic risk. So I have to work a lot as a farmer in the farm, in the field, and I also have to work a lot here in the office, trying to do good business when I sell grains and when I buy inputs. For example, I believe it's some kind of luck, buying a fertilizer 2 weeks ago before all this mess started in Ukraine. And that is saving me right now like 20% because fertilizer went up 20% since the last 2 weeks. So doing that, working in that, I was watching how the things were going in the world, and I thought, well, probably fertilizer is going up because of corn price, because of wheat price, because of soybean price, but also all this problem between Russia and Ukraine was there. So I said, let's do that right now. So spending time here in the office is, I believe, too important. Is, I would say, as important as spending time in the fields, which I enjoy a lot, of course.
Many farmers, right?
Yes.
I've seen you advocate a lot for no-till farming. Tell me why no-till is such a big deal for you.
Well, I'm truly believe I was born in no-till. My father was one of the founders of the National No-Till Association here in Uruguay. So all my life was between no-till farming, and I truly believe that that's the best way of farming, not only here in Uruguay, but also all around the world. It's a way of improving the environment. At the same time, we are creating food, which is something incredible. So no-till for me is the only way of farming because you can improve the soil. You can also capture a lot of CO2 from the atmosphere while you're farming, leaving residue in the farm, not burning residue through tillage. And you can also do that without erosion, saving a lot of water in the process. So for me, it's the best way of farming. That's why I spend so many time advocating for no-till.
We see plenty of people, especially online, that are pushing a certain agenda that dictates things to farmers. Like, we don't think farmers should use any chemicals or things like that. What would be your message to those people?
Well, I would ask them to ask a farmer to come to the farm. I mean, when I want to learn something about, I would say, surgery, I go and ask a doctor, right? When I want to know something about, I don't know, economics, I go and ask an accountant. When you want to know something about food, why not asking the ones who knows about food? That's my idea. We are doing something incredible at the farm. we are using solar energy, we are using water, we are using natural resources like fertilizer, like seed, the soil itself. We are using bacteria. We are using a lot of nature, which is around us, for creating food. And that for me is something incredible. If you add all those resources and you put all the passion and all the love we the farmers put in our work, well, that's something incredible. So some people is talking because they don't know, or they have an idea of what the world should be. And I believe it would be great to have all those people, or looking at the farm. I mean, I am really active on social media because of that. I want to people who doesn't know about farming to reach all our technology, to reach what we do every day, and to know that all those things we are doing at the farm are doable and are good for the environment. And we need those chemicals to work. We need large tractors. We need big equipment. We need the markets. And that would be, for me, incredible. Having all those people asking us or looking at what we do to understand what we are doing.
Because really the soil, the soil is no more important to anyone than it is to you, right? It's like your factory.
Right. And we depend on the soil each and every day. I always say that if the soil is happy, I am going to be happy too. So a healthier soil is going to be better for my operation, and it's going to be better for my country and for the world. So that's entirely correct.
The people that don't want chemicals to be involved in farming at all, they will put out messages out there that say that chemical companies control the farmers. How true is that?
No, it's not true. I mean, nobody is pointing us with a gun asking for buying this or that product. I believe that the chemical companies, they want their profit, of course, and we, the farmers, want and take care of our profit also. So we are using the best for our economy. We are using the best for our production, and no one is pushing us for doing that. We are using technology because it's better than the previous technology we were using in the past. So we are not doing because someone is asking for, or someone is making us doing that. We're doing because it's much better for us, and that would be the answer. No one is forcing us for doing that stuff.
So talk a little bit more about why technology is important for farmers. Why this access is important.
Right. I mean, technology is really, really important for farming. Today, we are farming in a completely different way than what we did 30 or 40 years before. Communications, that's something incredible. The cell phone is something, it's an incredible tool in the farming operation because we can control a lot of stuff through that. So, for example, I am doing with the same people, I am doing like twice the amount of hectares I was farming 20 years ago. And how could I do? I changed the way I farm through large equipment. That's technology too. Through GMOs, I can save a lot of spraying in the fields through GMOs. Notill, of course, changed everything for me. I needed to do 3 or 4 passes of tillage before planting in the past. I don't do that anymore, right? And all that things in our toolbox helped us a lot on farming how we do right now. That's why technology for me is tremendously important.
So one of the things that you said you save on spraying by using GMOs. A lot of people out there that are critical will say the opposite. So tell us a little bit about that.
Right. There are several events on GMOs, but one of the events that changed everything was the BT corn, right? That corn allows us to control some pests, like it's a caterpillar that eats the corn itself, the corn cob, without using any product. In the past, we were using really harmful products for controlling that pest, and we are saving that right now. So that GMO changed all the way we farm. For example, right now we have some soybeans resistant to dicamba or to 2,4-D. Those are two herbicides that saves us of using a lot of glyphosate instead. So some people believe that GMOs means more chemicals. And the right thing is that GMOs in our situation means less chemicals than before. That's, for me, is really important, that technology, because not only saves time, also saves the chemical itself, and also saves the employee or myself health, right? Because working with chemical is not easy, and having that advantage is tremendously great for the farming operation.
So we got into this a little bit, but expand on how technology helps farmers protect the environment.
Well, that's one of the answers, right? We are using less chemicals with that invention. Right now, with the GMOs, with the Notill, and with the large equipment, with the technology of communication, we can do better for the environment. I can know what happens in my field right now if I go with my cell phone and take a look. I wasn't able of doing that in the past. So having that information with me right now is really important. That helps me, for example, in precision agriculture. I can use the exact amount of fertilizer, or I don't know, some herbicide or some foliar fertilizer in the place where I know I'm going to have better yield, right? So I'm not using the same amount in the entire field or in the entire farm as we did in the past. I can see where to put each input, and that saves a lot of money and also improves the environment. I mean, I'm treating the soil like a living soil. So I want the best for the soil. I want the soil to be happy, to be healthy, and that would be the way of improving the environment with this technology.
So could you explain a little bit about how that works? I mean, how do you look at your field on your phone, and what kind of data is that showing you, and how does that help you make decisions?
Right. I have some applications in the phone, some apps that helps me. One uses satellite photos, right? Photography, and I can see the actual situation of every crop from the last week. That's incredible. And we can use also that information with the NDVI sensors that tells us some things like, I don't know, soil crops temperature, right? And it's like a human being. When you have fever, right, your temperature goes up. Well, in the crops, it's the same. When the crop has fever, something is happening in there. It might be a pest, it might be an insect, it might be a disease, it might be some problem with weeds, but you can look that at your phone and you can go straight to the point where the problem is. That's something amazing, right? And it helps also. I work with an agronomic engineer in my operation. It helps him because he can check in the phone before going to the farm, and he's not going to spend the whole day driving around the farm to check everything. He can go straight to the problem, and he can check what's going on there. That's something incredible.
And how does that technology connect to the ability to get fertilizer and weed control in exact right places? How does that work?
Right. We have some technology right now. For example, in weeds, we have something that it's a sensor in the sprayer itself that it's looking at the soil, and he can see if there's a weed or not. Right. Actually, it only can sensor if there's something green or not. And so he can spray if there's something green, and if the only thing he can see is a straw, he's not spraying anything. Right now they are working they are giving the ability to those sensors to check if the green thing they are looking is weed or is something good, right? For example, they can difference between weed and wheat, for example, right? So you can improve the way of spraying with that stuff incredibly. I mean, you can save up to 80% of the herbicide you are applying with that kind of technology. On fertilizer is something similar. We usually make a soil test before planting, and according to the result of that soil test, we can say, okay, in this area we're going to put, I don't know, 100 kilograms of some fertilizer. In this area we're going to put double that amount, 200 kilograms, and in this area only 50 kilograms, because I don't know, we decide which difference we are going to use, if the soil is better, if the weather is going to be good or not according to a forecast, if the crop is growing well. In corn, for example, we can check the crop. If we have a good corn, we can apply different amounts of urea, right, according to the corn itself. So it's an intelligent way of using inputs in today's agriculture, and that is really important because inputs prices are going up like crazy. So we have to manage that risk a lot.
So you're a high-tech farmer and you're using a lot of this stuff already, but what's the next thing that you're, paying attention to that you would like to maybe integrate on your farm?
Well, one of the things I'm checking, I'm going every year to the US, to the Farm Progress Show with a group of farmers from Uruguay. And we are always looking, since the last 4 or 5 years, all the automatization of machinery, right? I would really like to have a tractor or a combine that works itself without a person inside the cab. That's for me one of the major changes that is coming in the future, and it's not far from now. I mean, there are a lot of equipment which is actually working that way. Machinery that communicates each other, right? You can put 2 different combines inside the field, and one combine is going to harvest that way, and the other one that way, and they won't cross never, because all the complex system that works inside the software of those machinery helps them to program all the work before even started. I like technology. And I try to be as updated as possible. And I try to apply in my farm. It's not easy because farming here in South America is not the same that doing that in North America, in the United States, for example. But we are trying hard all the time to reach that technology as soon as possible.